The entire WWE Universe was left in utter disbelief as Roman Reigns made a jaw-dropping and unexpected return to the ring, and he wasn't alone. Standing by his side was none other than his brother, Jey Uso. Together, they launched one of the most vicious and unforgettable revenge attacks the WWE has seen all year, targeting none other than Paul Heyman. The atmosphere shifted in an instant when the arena lights suddenly went out without warning. In the darkness, the haunting and familiar static of the Bloodline's entrance music began to play. But this time, something felt different. When the lights returned, there he was, Roman Reigns, standing tall and commanding on the entrance ramp, his intense gaze fixed squarely on Paul Heyman, who stood defenseless at ringside. Then came the next shocker. Jey Uso's music hit with thunderous force, and for the first time in years, the brothers emerged side by side, marching with unwavering determination and unity. Their presence sent a powerful and undeniable message. The Bloodline had reassembled, and Paul Heyman's time manipulating from the shadows had officially run out. For months, Heyman had worked behind the scenes, weaving his influence into a new, destructive faction led by Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Leveraging his inside knowledge of the Bloodline's history and weaknesses, Heyman had been chipping away at Roman Reigns' legacy while he remained mysteriously absent from the scene, and while Jey kept his distance, hesitant to return to the family fold. Heyman likely believed he was beyond retribution, that he had finally outmaneuvered the tribal chief. But that illusion shattered tonight. Roman wasn't just back, he was back with a purpose, and Jey Uso was right there with him. The assault that followed was nothing short of brutal. Roman Reigns exploded into action, spearing Paul Heyman straight through the announce table with primal fury. At the same time, Jey Uso delivered a devastating superkick that sent Seth Rollins flying off the apron. The crowd erupted into chaos, their excitement uncontainable, as Roman dragged Heyman into the ring by his expensive $10,000 custom suit. There, Jey waited, steel chair in hand, ready to finish what they had started. "This is for every lie," Roman snarled before bringing the chair crashing down onto Heyman's ribs. Then, in a final, breathtaking act of dominance, Jey climbed to the top rope and hit the USO splash with pinpoint precision, leaving Heyman completely motionless. But the ultimate insult was still to come. Roman reached down, ripped Heyman's prized Wiseman pendant from around his neck, and placed it around Jey's, symbolically passing the torch in the most savage way imaginable. Backstage, the aftermath was absolute chaos. Heyman was carried out on a stretcher, reportedly suffering from multiple broken ribs. Rollins was seen in a rage, screaming at WWE officials and demanding the match result be voided. Braun Breaker, furious over the ambush, issued a challenge for a no-disqualification match against Roman Reigns at the upcoming SummerSlam event. Meanwhile, Roman and Jey were seen celebrating backstage, surrounded by allies, signaling their full return as a united force. Perhaps the most shocking revelation came when it was discovered that Roman and Jey had secretly been training together for weeks, meticulously planning this comeback and revenge attack down to the last detail. And if that wasn't enough to shake the WWE landscape, there are now strong rumors circulating that the company is fast-tracking an epic War Games-style match between the reformed Bloodline and Heyman's faction. Whispers are even growing louder about a possible return from The Rock himself, potentially joining forces to restore the family's dominance once and for all. This wasn't just an act of revenge. This was about reclaiming a legacy. Roman and Jey didn't just dismantle Paul Heyman physically, they obliterated everything he stood for, sending a thunderous warning to every corner of the WWE. The message couldn't be clearer. The Bloodline is back, they're stronger than ever, and with SummerSlam on the horizon, the real war is only just beginning. Was this the most electrifying revenge moment in WWE history? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell, because the Bloodline's return has just rewritten the rules of the game. Should The Rock return to stand beside them? The WWE Universe waits. The WWE Universe was completely stunned and thrown into a frenzy when Roman Reigns made his astonishing and long-awaited return to the spotlight. Fans had been speculating for months about his absence, and the mystery surrounding his silence only intensified the shock. But no one, absolutely no one, could have predicted the manner of his comeback. The tribal chief didn't walk back into WWE alone. Standing shoulder to shoulder with him was his blood brother, Jey Uso, and together they executed one of the most brutal, calculated, and emotionally charged revenge attacks in modern WWE history. What unfolded wasn't just a surprise appearance, it was a carefully orchestrated statement, a declaration of dominance, and a reclaiming of legacy. The night had seemed like any other until the atmosphere shifted in an instant. The lights in the arena suddenly shut off, plunging the crowd into darkness. Confused murmurs turned into roars of anticipation. Then came the static, the eerie, crackling entrance music of the Bloodline. But this time, it had an unfamiliar undertone, remixed intensity that hinted at something different, something far more dangerous. The lights returned with a blast of red, and standing at the top of the ramp, bathed in spotlight, was Roman Reigns. Dressed in his signature black, eyes blazing with fury, he stared directly at Paul Heyman, who stood frozen at ringside. The crowd erupted, but what followed left jaws on the floor. A second theme hit the speakers, Jey Uso's. For the first time in years, the two brothers appeared together, unified in purpose and presence. They walked down the ramp in perfect sync, each step heavy with the weight of personal history and unfinished business. The message was clear and chilling. The Bloodline was back, reborn, and more dangerous than ever. This wasn't a reunion, it was a reckoning. And Paul Heyman, who had spent the past several months maneuvering himself into a position of absolute control, was the first to pay the price. Since Roman's mysterious disappearance, Paul Heyman had emerged as the puppet master behind a new faction made up of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Heyman, leveraging his deep understanding of Roman Reigns and the inner workings of the Bloodline, had positioned himself as the architect of a faction that systematically chipped away at Roman's legacy. With Jey Uso refusing to return to the family and Roman